Hello everyone, welcome to our online class. Today we are going to learn the fourth chapter of our supplement reader, The Treasure Within. So in this chapter, we can check what happens there. Every child is a potential achiever and is different from other children in her or his style of learning and area of interest. So that we know every child is different from each other. Here, read the interview that follows. It is based on a conversation between Miss Bella Raja, editor of Spush, a newsletter from the Resource Center, the Valley School, Bangalore, and Mr. Hafiz, contractor, one of India's leading architect. So, it's an interview between Miss Bella Raja and Mr. Hafiz, contractor. Here you can see HC and BR like that. This Bella Raja and Hafiz, contractor. So here, how he was when he was a young boy, when he was a boy in school, how he studied and other things, and what changes happened. What are the changes happens to him in his life? So remember that one. Hafiz, contractor, was an unhappy schoolboy. He loved doing things but detested mechanical learning. He didn't like that mechanical learning. Mathematics gave him shivers. He didn't like mathematics. So you can see HC means Hafiz, contractor, and BR means Miss Bella Raja, a school student. So let's start the chapter. HC. I used to have this terrible nightmare. Only now, over the last 4 to 5 years, it seems to have disappeared. So nightmare means a haunting fear or frightening dream. So he's saying that when he has that in last 5 years, he has that till last 5 years. He has a terrible nightmare. Now it was disappeared. What nightmare are you talking about? And why do you think it has disappeared now? BR. Bella Raja asked the question. I used to get continuous nightmares about appearing for a maths examination where I did not know anything. Now the psych here means mind or mentality, must have gotten over it. I don't have to think about education and there is absolutely no time to get nightmares. So he has the nightmare that appearing for a maths examination without studying anything. So what happens there? Now he doesn't have the time to think of think about mathematics exam or education. So that the nightmare has been disappeared. So remember he was a unhappy schoolboy. He didn't like some type of subjects, language and the mathematics like that he didn't like. So that he had the nightmare that is appearing for maths examination. But now no need to think about that. So he doesn't have that nightmare. Okay. Tell us something about your earliest memories in school. So we are asked earliest memories. So let's check what is the Hafiz, contractor's earliest memories. In the first and second year, I was a good student. After I reached the third standard, I simply lost interest and I never studied. First class 1 and class 2, good student. Third standard he lost the interest and he became after that he never studied. I used to be interested in games, running around, playing jokes and pranks on others. I would copy in class during exam times. Class during exam times. I would try to get hold of the examination paper that had been prepared and study it, as I could not remember things that had been taught to me in class. So he couldn't remember anything that was taught in the classroom. So he was passing the exam by copying. However, later, one sentence spoken to me by my principal changed my life. But later, as his principal talked one sentence that changed his entire life. When I approached my 11th standard, the principal called me and said, "Look here, son, I have been seeing you from day one. You are a good student, but you never studied. I have taken care of you till today. Now I can no longer take care of you, so you do it yourself. So day one onwards I'm seeing you, so you didn't study anything. But now onwards I can't do anything. You should study yourself." So he talked to me for 5 minutes. You don't have your father. Your mother has worked so hard to bring you up and paid all your fees all these years, but you have only played games. Now you should rise to the occasion and study. So you don't have father. Your mother paid all the fee. She worked hard to pay fee for you. But you didn't study. You simply played. But now you should rise. This is the occasion. You should start studying. I used to be a very good sportsman. I had been the senior champion for many years and I also was the cricket captain. I used to play every game, but that year I did not step out onto the field. So he was a good sports person, but because of the words of principal, he didn't step out the field for playing. I would go for prayers and all I would do was eat and study. I normally used to copy and pass, but I realized that once I was in SSC. SSC means like our SSLC, senior secondary course. I could not do that. So he thought I cannot copy in SSC. When I got a second class, that is 50% mark in my SSC, my principal said, son, consider yourself as having got a distinction. Think you got 75% mark, you got 50%, but you think that you got the distinction because till now you didn't study anything. This is my memory of my school days. That is, his contractor said till now. I did lots of other things. See, as far as my things are concerned, I can't remember. I forgot things very easily. To remember, I have to see things as a photograph. So, as far as my things are concerned, means perhaps he is referring to the matters other than course material and their details. So, he was thinking that other than studying, he couldn't remember anything. He cannot remember whatever taught there. He cannot remember anything whatever taught in the school. But he can remember other things. What about playing? What are the things he concerned? He liked. What are things he liked? That all things he can remember. But about studying, whatever taught in the school, that he cannot remember. So he was not at all a good student till the words of the principal. So what he said, I read a book and I can remember the matter as a photograph, but not through my mind. That is how it works. If he read any books, he can remember things in that book as a photograph. That only he can remember. When you were in school and you were doing badly, did the teachers pull you up and how did you feel? The interviewer asked the question. So you didn't do anything, so did the teachers pull you up? Did they try to make you study? Then he said, his conductor said, I never felt anything on being pulled up. Here pulled up means they're trying to get into the education. I used to be so interested in playing. I would receive a caning every week. Caning here means punishment or beating. So teachers tried to make me study, but I didn't interested in that. So I interested in only playing. So every week I will get any punishment. When you knew that you had incurred the wrath of your teacher by not doing your homework or by behaving badly, when you knew you would get a caning, what was the state of your mind? So incur the wrath of your teacher means made your teacher furious. So when you are not doing the homework, you know that your teachers will give you punishment and must behave badly. Then what was your state of mind? You know that you are going to get a punishment in that time. Then what he said, state of mind, just lift up the hand and they would cane you. Cane means beat. It wouldn't hurt badly and then I would have to forget about it because I would want to go and play. So what he said, no state of mind for that. I want to show my hand, they will beat on my hand. After that I want to forget about that because I want to go and play. I want to think about playing only. You never felt insecure or threatened? Never you felt insecure and what is a threatened? That is, you are going to get beating from the teachers. I was just interested in playing and nothing else. He's simply interested in playing only. I was most interested in funny pranks. One day, I did not want to study, so I created a distraction, something amusing and pleasurable. For 1 whole hour, we played Chor Police. Chor Police children's game. You know that one? Thief Police. We know, we have played it many times. Every Saturday, we were allowed to go into town to see a movie. So what I would do was have no lunch and collect money from 40 to 50 students and run and buy the tickets. On my way back, I would eat to my heart's content. Eat my heart's content means eat as much as I wanted. Eat my fill. Then I used to be the leader of a gang. We would have gang fights and plan strategies. These things used to interest me more than any academics. Strategies means methods of winning. Winning fights. Academics means academics, educational matters, books, discussion, extra. So he interested in other things other than studying. He doesn't like studying. So he was studying in hostel. That is there. He was studying in hostel life. So that's why they got a chance to go to watch a movie in Saturdays. So Saturdays, what he will do? He will collect money from 40 to 50 students. When they are eating food, he won't eat food. He will collect it and go and collect the tickets. Students used to book my textbooks for the following year because they were almost brand new. I probably opened them one day before exams. So junior students book his books. Otherwise, because he won't open that book, he will only open it for exam time. So we can check this next second one. How did you get into the field of architecture? Remember, he was an architecture. In the college for architecture, nobody who had got below 80 or 85 percentage was allowed to enter. I had only 50%. So in technical college, architecture college, only above 80 to 85 percentage only they will allow it. So he got only 50%, so he was not allowed. I wanted to join the army because he wanted to join army. I got my admission letter, but my aunt tore it up and tear that paper and tear away. Then I decided that I wanted to join the police force. My mother said, "Don't join the police force. Just do your graduation." So I went to Jai Hind College in Bombay. There I was to either take French or German. Though I had studied French for 7 years, I did not know 7 words of French. So I took German. Then my German teacher died. The college told me that I could change the college or take French. Who would give me admission in another college? I had got admission to Jai Hind by influence only because he got less mark. So I thought, okay, I will take French, and I started learning French again. I learned it from my cousin. She was an architect's wife. I was going to an architect's office to learn French. We are asked, was it then that you decided you wanted to do architecture? Actually, it all happened quite by chance. In the architect's office, I saw somebody drawing a window detail. A window detail is a very advanced drawing. I told him that his drawing was wrong, that the window he had drawn would not open. He then had a bet with me, and later he found that indeed, really, his drawing was wrong. My cousin's husband was surprised. He asked me to draw a few specific things, which I immediately did. He asked me to design a house, and I designed a house. After that, he told me to drop everything and join architecture. We went to meet the principal of the college. The principal warned me, I will allow you to take part in the entrance exam, but if you do not do well, I will not allow you to join. I got an A+ in the entrance exam, and from that day it was a cakewalk. Cakewalk means smooth ride, easy to achieve. I had never made a plan, but I knew how something looked like from the top. I had never known what a section was, but I knew if you cut a plan, what it would look like. I stood first class first throughout. After that, I believe that all this understanding came from what I used to play and do during school. I had a friend called Baron Divecha. We used to have competitions between us for designing forts, guns, and ammunition. Ammunition means war weapons. Each of us would design something in an effort to be different. So how he joined the architecture college, that was explained in his own words, that he understood. He went to his cousin's home, that is his cousin's house. Husband was an architecture. From there he was learning the French because his French teacher died. So from there he met, so that the architecture, that is cousin's husband, understood the potential, the what he knows, he has a ability to do the things. He understood that one, and he asked him to join the architecture college. And in the entrance exam he got a plus. And after that, what happened? Throughout the year he was the first class, he was the first student, the best student that college. Remember, when he was studying in school, what was his condition? He didn't study anything because he interested only in playing. But that things help him to do good in examinations. In school, when I was in the second or third standard, one of my teachers, Mrs. Gupta, saw my sketches drawing, and told me, "See, you are useless in everything else, but your sketches are good. When you grow up, you become an architect." I did not know at the time, but she was right. Later, after I became an architect, I went back to meet her and tell her, "Why do you think you did not like studies? Was it because you felt you could not cope, could not deal with the curriculum? Coping could not manage, handle, deal with it. Curriculum, that is subject syllabus. I was very bad at languages. Science and geography I could deal with. Maths was very bad. I just was not interested. I was studying for the sake of studying, not for me. Wanted to study, that's why studying. What what they taught me today, I would forget after 2 days. I would not bother because there was no application of mind there to begin with. So whatever the teacher taught today, he will forget it within 2 days. So he can't study anything, he can't remember anything. Did you think that what they taught in school was boring, or did you feel that once you understand the concept of what was being taught, you lost interest in the rest of the lesson? Then he replied for that question, what is that? Living in a boarding school. We said that one, boarding school. He's living in hostel and studying. It's difficult. We were just living from day to day. Nowadays, there are so many tests. Back then, in that time, whenever we had a test, we used to just copy to pass. The teacher thought that we had done our work. So, copying and passing. There is a contention that giftedness and learning disabilities go hand in hand. Do you think this applies to you? So, giftedness, have special abilities. The giftedness. Okay. Well, take some students from my class. Those who always stood first or second are today doing very ordinary jobs. So, those who studied very well, they are doing very ordinary jobs now. I have come across this situation in so many different places where people tell me that their class toppers are doing very ordinarily today. So he said, in school, I think living our lives there made us street smart. Street smart means smart by doing things independently by choice rather than force. So I have learned more by doing what I did on my own than what academics would have taught me. So he learned things his own way, not through the academics. So remember that when he was not at all a good student, he didn't like to study. That's the main thing. So she asked, "Were you lost the interest when you understood the topic?" Then he said, "Not like that. Not like that, because in my school classroom also so many toppers were there. They were doing ordinary jobs now because they were toppers and they are doing ordinary jobs only. So it is not like that. So there are some different things are there. It is whatever he learned or what he became. It is all because he learned it his own way, not from the school." Okay, we are asked again there. That is because the personality and skills were there. You have the skills. You were able to find expression in manner you were comfortable with and you defied every rules so that nobody would stop you from doing what you needed to do. Defied means broke. So you broke the rules so that nobody can force you to do the things. I was more interested in other things. So he said, in school, I was more interested in other things, not like breaking the rules, not like that. What he interested there? He's saying that, if for example, while in class, it started raining outside, I would think of the flowing water and how to build a dam to block it. So while class is going on, if it rained outside, he will think how to build a dam to block the flowing water. Then I would be thinking about the flow of water within the dam and how much of water the dam would be able to hold. So again he'll think, so how the water will flow in that dam and how much water it can hold. So that was my interest of the day. There you can see the picture, complex designed by Hafiz contractor. Okay. When students lost a button while playing or fighting, they would come running to me and I would cut a button for them from chalk using a blade. Discipline in the school was very important and no student could afford to have a button missing. So the student would get to pass the dinner with a full neat uniform, and after that it did not matter. So if the students lost the button from fighting or playing, then they will come to him. Then he will cut a button from the chalk with a blade and they can afford it. Coming to the present, how do you decide as to what kind of a structure you want to give a client? So now what are the things? If a client come to you, then what type of structure will you present to them? Drawing the architecture, designing, remember designing the buildings. I look at the client's face, his clothes, the way he talks and pronounces, the way he eats, and I would know what his taste would be like. I can relate to people in a way that would be comfortable. I sketch very spontaneously, quickly, on a paper on the spot. In that spot itself, he'll draw. That paper I give to my people in the office. You do it instinctively. Instinctively means naturally, not coming from training based on reasoning. So he said, by looking the client, people those are coming to me for designing the house. What I will do, he will looking them, and after that spontaneously he will get the idea. He will understand what type of things they would like to get. So he'll draw there, and that one give to the office. So call it instinct, call it arithmetic, whatever. Now it comes to me like mathematics, putting design, construction, psychology and sociology together and making a sketch from all that is mathematics. So you can say, he says that you can say it is a natural thing. Okay, so here we almost come to a full circle where Mr. Contractor has derived his own interpretation of mathematics. So what is there? Taking it from a subject he hated to a subject he now loves dealing with. So remember that one. Earlier he hated mathematics. Now what happened there? That mathematics only he doing now. Through the mathematics only he is designing the houses and other things. So I hope you understood this lesson. If you have any doubts about this one, you can ask it in the comment box. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. See you later. Bye.